1 in 5 Americans is affected by a silent threat in their blood, jeopardizing their health without their knowledge. Do you know what this hidden threat to your health might be? In this video, we're delving into the science behind uric acid. We'll explore its prevalence, risk factors, and the surprising range of health problems it can cause. From painful joint inflammation to increased risks of heart disease and kidney problems. But we won't stop at identifying the threat. We'll introduce you to a novel, scientifically supported approach to managing uric acid levels, which is not yet another medication or a dreadful restrictive diet. Let's start with a little perspective. 1 in 5 adults in the United States is walking around with higher than normal uric acid levels. That's right. We're talking about a condition called hyperuricemia, and it's been on the rise in recent decades. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's break down what uric acid actually is and why it matters to your health. Uric acid is a natural byproduct of our body's metabolism, specifically when we break down purines, compounds found in many foods we eat and in our own cells. Normally, our kidneys do a fantastic job of filtering out excess uric acid and sending it on its merry way through our urine. However, when this process goes awry, uric acid can build up in our bloodstream, potentially leading to a host of health issues. Now, you might be wondering, am I at risk? Well, it turns out that some of us are more likely to experience high uric acid levels than others. Men, for instance, tend to have higher levels than women, with about 20% of guys and 13% of ladies affected by hyperuricemia. But ladies, don't think you're off the hook just yet. Your uric acid levels can creep up after menopause thanks to a decrease in estrogen, which usually helps keep things in check. As we age, our uric acid levels typically increase, stabilizing for men around age 40 but often continuing to rise for women post-menopause. Your genes might also be playing a role in this uric acid drama. Scientists have identified over 30 gene locations that are associated with uric acid levels, explaining about 7% of the variation in uric acid concentrations among individuals. So, if hyperuricemia runs in your family, you might want to pay extra attention to your levels. Now, before going into the solution, let's talk about the elephant in the room, gout. This painful form of inflammatory arthritis is perhaps the most well-known consequence of high uric acid levels. Picture this: sharp, needle-like uric acid crystals forming in your joints causing excruciating pain and swelling. About 20% of people with hyperuricemia end up developing gout. But here's the silver lining: not everyone with high uric acid levels will experience this joint-jabbing condition. But gout isn't the only concern when it comes to elevated uric acid. Recent research has uncovered a whole list of potential health risks associated with hyperuricemia. For starters, it's been linked to an increased risk of cardiovascular diseases. Specific research has found that high uric acid levels are an independent risk factor for cardiovascular mortality. In other words, keeping your uric acid in check might be doing your heart a big favor. But the plot thickens. High uric acid levels have also been associated with metabolic syndrome, a cluster of conditions that includes high blood pressure, insulin resistance, and abnormal cholesterol levels. It's like uric acid is the ringmaster in a circus of metabolic mayhem. Speaking of insulin resistance, some studies have shown that lowering uric acid levels can actually improve insulin sensitivity. So if you're worried about your blood sugar levels, keeping an eye on your uric acid might be a smart move. And this is not over yet. Hyperuricemia has been linked to kidney disease, with high levels potentially contributing to the development and progression of renal problems. Even your liver might not be safe from the uric acid assault, with recent research suggesting a potential role in liver disease, particularly in children. Now that we've painted a picture of the potential risks, you might be feeling a bit overwhelmed. But fear not. There are several practical steps you can take to keep your uric acid levels in check and protect your health. First and foremost, let's talk about diet. Remember those purines we mentioned earlier? Well, they're found in higher concentrations in certain foods, particularly red meat, organ meats, and some types of seafood. By limiting your intake of these purine-rich foods, you can reduce the amount of uric acid your body produces. It's like turning down the faucet to prevent your sink from overflowing. But diet isn't the only tool in our uric acid-fighting arsenal. Enter intermittent fasting, a dietary approach that's been gaining popularity for its potential health benefits. Specifically, the practice of fasting on Mondays and Thursdays has shown promising results in managing uric acid levels. Stay with us, and shortly you will have a simple and effective fasting plan to lower your uric acid levels. Maybe you are wondering how this works. Well, intermittent fasting helps regulate food intake, which can prevent conditions like hyperglycemia, hypercholesterolemia, and yes, you guessed it, hyperuricemia. By giving your body regular breaks from constant food processing, you're allowing it to focus on other important tasks like managing those pesky uric acid levels. But the benefits don't stop there. Intermittent fasting has been shown to improve insulin sensitivity, which indirectly influences uric acid levels. Remember that insulin resistance we talked about earlier? Well, by improving your body's response to insulin, you might just be giving uric acid the boot. Weight loss is another potential perk of intermittent fasting that can help keep uric acid in check. Excess body weight is a risk factor for elevated uric acid levels, so shedding a few pounds through intermittent fasting could be a double win for your health. And let's not forget about blood pressure. Intermittent fasting has been shown to help control blood pressure, which is often linked with higher uric acid levels. It's like hitting two birds with one stone, or in this case, two health concerns with one dietary approach. Now you might be thinking, nah, this all sounds great, but where's the proof? Well, several studies have backed up the benefits of intermittent fasting for uric acid management. One study involving young adult women who practiced fasting on Mondays and Thursdays showed significantly lower blood glucose, cholesterol, and uric acid levels compared to those who didn't fast. Another study on patients with high blood pressure and obesity found that one-day intermittent fasting led to improvements in blood pressure and metabolic parameters, including uric acid levels. For those intrigued by the potential benefits of intermittent fasting for uric acid management, here's a simple plan to get started. Begin with a daily 16-8 schedule. Limit your eating to an 8-hour window from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. and fast for the remaining 16 hours from 8 p.m. to 12 p.m. the next day. This approach allows your body to experience the metabolic benefits of fasting while still providing flexibility for social meals and daily routines. After 4 weeks of adapting to this pattern, introduce 2 extended fasting days, Mondays and Thursdays. On these days, stretch your fasting window to 20 hours, eating only between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. For example, if you finish dinner at 8 p.m. on Sunday, you would fast until 4 p.m. on Monday, resulting in a 20-hour fast. This gradual progression allows your body to adapt while potentially enhancing the uric acid-lowering effects of intermittent fasting. Staying hydrated during fasting periods is crucial, and everyone's body is different. What works for one person might not work for another, and it's always a good idea to consult with a healthcare professional before making significant changes to your diet or lifestyle. Here's a simple, clear table showcasing the intermittent fasting schedule described in the text. Remember, knowledge is important, but the power lies in using this knowledge. And now you're armed with the information you need to keep your uric acid levels in check and your body running smoothly. If you found these tips helpful, smash that like button, subscribe for more health insights, and share your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.